Every few months, the same kind of video gets posted on Instagram and goes viral. It's a scene of a crowd somewhere in the US. Soccer fans have gathered before a game, young and old, women and men, singing songs and flying flags. One such video was posted by new MLS franchise Austin FC as their organized supporters group Los Verdes performed their corteo, where the fans marched to the stadium displaying their banners with pyro and songs. Drummers led the way as green smoke filled the air, and rainbow flags were everywhere. Inside the stadium, a tifo was raised with the words, "Don't mess with the trans Texans." It was a joyous scene, without danger or violence. And yet the video was shared by hundreds of ultra and hooligan social media accounts, and the comments underneath were all of a similar vintage, a mixture of disdain and disbelief. America, stop getting soccer wrong. And sometimes the United States has got soccer wrong. Who can forget Derek Diablo Alvarez, the self-declared leader of the Miami Casuals, who, inspired by the film Green Street Hooligans, made it his life's work to transplant English casual culture to Florida, recording videos offering fights with hooligans from Millwall, Liverpool, Chelsea and Lincoln City. Or the time that fans of New York City FC and New York Red Bulls squared up before a game, throwing plastic chairs at each other whilst shouting "Who are ya?" in Mockney accents. But the ultra and hooligan social media accounts that trade in viral memes know what they're doing and how their audiences will react when they farm hate clicks. And there is a visceral hatred towards the idea that US ultra culture might actually exist. But it does, and the culture is sweeping American soccer. Take LAFC for example. When the team entered the league in 2018, a fan association was set up called the 3252, the number of seats in their north stand. Wanting to learn from the best, LAFC sent a delegation to Borussia Dortmund in the hope of learning how to best run a team and how to create an atmosphere in a stadium that might rival Dortmund's famous Yellow Wall. Sensing the possible commercial opportunities, Dortmund's back office opened their doors. There are also large ultra groups at Seattle Sounders, Portland Timbers, Atlanta United, Orlando City and Inter Miami, attracting crowds as large if not bigger than many European leagues. There is less anarchy than in the European ultra scene. Groups have to abide by strict league rules when they enter a stadium. Pyro inside a stadium, for example, is a big no-no, and only league-approved pyro can be used under strict conditions. And no political banners are allowed. When MLS's fan code of conduct was introduced in 2019, Portland Timbers fans were banned from flying an iron front flag, a German anti-Nazi flag from the 1930s, because of its political nature. Former NBA legend Kareem Abdul-Jabbar led the outcry. Curtailing the free speech of athletes or fans is not consistent with our vision of sports or our vision of democracy, he wrote, and the league dropped the ban. Toronto FC's ultras group, the Inebriati, were banned from the stadium in 2018 for one pyro display. The Garden State Ultras had their status as the official support organisation revoked by the New York Red Bulls also in 2018 for behaviour that would pass as normal in a German stadium. Quote, "We understand the regulations concerning flares and smoke bombs," the Garden State Ultras said in a statement posted on Facebook, "and we look forward to Red Bull using the footage in more of their promo videos." And last year, the 3252 lost its official privileges at LAFC for lighting pyro before a game, which had to be delayed because smoke was obscuring the pitch. Which begs the question, what prompts the backlash? Now, in part, it's down to the fact that US ultra culture reflects its constituency. Soccer is a more middle-class game in the US, and its ultra scene is far more progressive than in many European countries. Rainbow flags are common, as are female capos, the terrace leaders who lead the chants in the stadiums. Except for parts of Germany and for a few individual examples elsewhere, that is something almost unheard of in the European scene. And there is also a widely held perception that American soccer is corporate and at odds with the ultras' outlaw perspective against authority. When the 3252 went to Dortmund to learn about organising a supporter group, the club may have opened their doors to them, but the main ultra group, the Unity, refused to meet them. Quote, "If the curva in Italy represents Italian society, then the curva in America represents American society, and it represents the complete takeover of football by corporations," said fan culture expert Martino Simsek. Although the 3252 tells another story. Los Angeles is a diverse city. The curva at LAFC has a strong Latino identity, but members have their roots in the soccer cultures of Argentina, Brazil, Colombia and Mexico, to name a few. Many brought the Torcida and the Barras Bravas in South American stadiums with them. And Instagram accounts, like Ultras Barras USA, highlights just how widespread the culture is, often featuring large organised supporters groups not just from MLS, but lower down the leagues, all the way down to the fourth tier of the United Premier Soccer League. Often it highlights tensions between franchise management and supporter groups, as well as highlighting tifos, new chants, and pyro displays outside the stadium. You see, American soccer has tolerated and allowed the growth of fan culture to a limited extent because it needs it to grow the product. But ultra culture can be messy, and as it grows, it will demand more space. Whether or not the league will give it to them remains to be seen, but what is clear is that North American ultras are here to stay, which is good news for US soccer, and presumably also good news for the various meme accounts that have weaponized and monetized this culture as content. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. The Athletic is home to some of the world's best sports journalists, including David Ornstein, Daniel Taylor, Ollie Kay, Amy Lawrence and James Horncastle. With the latest transfer news and insight on every Premier League football story that matters, theathletic.com puts you inside football, and you can try it for free now for 30 days. See the link in the description.